You're listening to Barbell Logic, brought to you by Barbell Logic Online Coaching, where each week we take a systematic walk through strength training and the refining power of voluntary hardship.
Welcome to the Barbell Logic podcast. I'm Scott Hambrick, and there's Matt Reynolds, and it's question and answer Thursday. What are you getting your credit card out for, man?
My wife, I said my wife is my sister. My sister is about to make a Sam's run and go to get some food.
A bale of toilet paper, a gallon of pickled okra.
I don't need toilet paper. I don't know if you ever heard.
Half a gallon of mayonnaise.
Nope.
37 pounds of black olives.
Actually, she's going to buy turkeys.
Oh, no.
For Thanksgiving.
Are you guys giving turkeys away?
Me?
Yeah.
No.
Why are you buying multiple turkeys?
Because I have multiple families. Because I don't trust my family to make good turkey, and I definitely don't trust Rachel's family to make good turkey. So I've just decided that I'm the meat guy in both families from now on. So smoke some turkey, smoke some ham, have that 2 days in a row. It's fine. And then eat turkey sandwiches for the next month.
We're having a brisket, ribs, dressing,
delicious
pecan pie, salad, yeast rolls,
pumpkin pie.
Fucking pumpkin pie. Yeah, you guys can go to barbell-logic.com/pie and get my pumpkin pie recipe and Reynolds whipped cream recipe. You can go there.
Cool Whip recipe from
So you should do that. We've got Katie and Blake with us from Dominion Strength. They are the folks that make our favorite belts, and we're gonna talk to them a little bit and ask some questions. And I don't know, we'll see if we can't make some podcast soup together.
Podcast soup.
Yeah.
How you guys doing?
Good.
Great.
So, Blake, what do you have rolling? First off, what does 2019 look like for you guys from just a business perspective and new belts? You kind of came out with some new products, and then what's on the horizon for you? And I know that you've got a pretty big Thanksgiving, Black Friday, post-Thanksgiving sale, which actually will start on Thanksgiving morning, which is today. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. We're not recording this on Thanksgiving. I still haven't purchased my turkeys, but by the time you hear it, it'll be Thanksgiving. So yeah, what's 2019 look like for you guys?
It looked busy, man. We're pretty much maxed out, I think, as far as what we can do with just Katie and I, and in this space. We just got a couple new big machines in to help us keep up with production and everything. So that's going to help us finish out the year. And then next year, it's just going to be wild.
I hear Florida man's looking for work.
Oh, they're all looking for work.
Yeah.
So we roll down our doors when it gets dark.
Well, you said you got new machines. What does that mean? What are those?
The biggest one we got is something called a band knife splitter. So if you think of kind of what a planer does to wood, this will do to leather. If you need to take a strap and take it down to a specific thickness, it'll do that. Or if you've got uneven spots, it's not a consistent thickness throughout, it'll take that down to a nice even surface all the way through. And that was something that we were doing by hand before, which was a real pain. So that's already helping us out a lot.
I imagine Blake, he dresses like an Amish guy. He's got like a planer. He's like planing leather. He's got a beard with no mustache. Right. And he's like, man, this sucks. We got to buy him. There's machines that do this.
You're not too far off on the visual.
Yeah, basically before like a month ago, every belt was literally handmade, hand planed, all that stuff. But that was all Blake. Poor guy.
So what were you doing?
Motivation. I'm here for support.
Hey,
you got
listen.
pom-poms? You got pom-poms you're doing like...
Yeah.
That's what charity does
not
too.
At all. Yeah. So I watch, that's what I'm good for. No, but so really that's a super manual process. And to get it like a really good, even like thickness, right? And to take off a good amount, you do have to have enough strength to do that. And I mean, I'm fine for a handful of belts, but after then I'm just like kind of useless. honestly. I can't do 60 belts, which is kind of what he would do in one day. That's a tough day. Yeah, that's an arm day.
What's the difference in time from hand planing 60 belts to machine planing? I know it's the wrong word. It's not really planing.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah.
What's the time difference for you guys now that you got that new machine in?
So it used to take me about half a day, 4 hours, to do a week's worth of straps to get them ready for the next step. And I was able to do a month's worth on day 2 of having this machine in that same amount of time.
Wow. 4 times as fast. Yeah.
Not even really knowing how to operate the machine. So that should get even better. And so, yeah, to answer your question, one of the big things for this year and going into next year is going to be adding capacity in the form of new equipment, also getting some help in so that we can maintain the quality that people have come to expect from us, and also maintain that lead time that I think has been very important up to now, that 1 week or less, and even see if we can pull that in a little bit.
Yeah, I was going to say, let's talk a little bit. I know most of our listeners are familiar with you guys. You've been friends of the show for a long time. But what are the things that you really think distinguish Dominion from the other belt companies? And not to belittle them, but I think that everybody sort of has their unique. You sort of have a unique value proposition. What is the unique value proposition for you guys, for people who are looking for belts?
We can get it to you quick. So there are people that do more custom stuff than we do, but you're going to wait 4 weeks, 6 weeks, sometimes even longer, especially this time of year. And our thing has always been, we're going to ship it out within a week or less. A lot of people, after a while, we figured out what sells the best. We keep a lot of that stuff just in stock, ready to go. So plenty of people will order something from us and have it shipped same day or next day, 2 to 3 days to get to you. So, a week and a half, 10 days is when you can get a belt from us, and it's going to be the same or better quality compared to any of these other American manufacturers.
They're better. Will you embroider the Cookie Monster on my belt, though?
Never. Just kidding.
That's a machine I don't have, and I'm not willing to try it by hand.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, we can draw it on there, Scott. I don't.
There we go. My brother says he's had business for a long time. He said everybody wants it the fastest, the best, and the cheapest. And he says pick 2. You get 2, right? That's the best you can do. And for you guys, I think you make the best belt, and it's the fastest. And then here's the thing: it's actually it's not very expensive either. I think it's a very value, the value on the price is fantastic. It holds up. Certainly you can go on Amazon and buy Chinese made belts or something that come probably fast, and they're very low quality, but you guys really have the highest quality belts, I think, in the world, and you get them really fast. The only downside, and I don't even consider it a downside, is that you can't get it in magenta with your name drawn on the back of it, right? So if you want hyper custom,
if you're an attention-seeking whore, you don't use these.
Yeah, I always figure that our customers are just. I guess when I walk into a gym, it's been a while. We train at the shop, but I don't know. For me, I don't go in there for anyone to look at me. That's fine. And when we were at Atlanta Barbell, yeah, I definitely had friends there. But generally speaking, I'm just there to work out and do my thing and leave. And I don't really want my name on the back of my belt, or I'm not trying to draw attention to myself. I'm just trying to get the job done and leave. So I think that appeals to a lot of people.
And if you have good taste, of course, you know that the best looking belt is just going to be a nice grain piece of leather with some dark oil on it anyway. So that's why we made the Dominion belt the way it is.
Yeah, we love the look of the belt for sure. I'll tell you, one of the things that's made it so synergistic with what we do at Barbell Logic Online Coaching is we get new clients sign up and they need a belt. They need shoes and they need a belt. And so we've got our place that we'll send them to go get shoes fast. And we're and then you need to order a belt from Dominion because we know it's going to be there within a week. And I can't take a client who's a brand new client who needs a belt right now and have them wait for 8 weeks to get a belt. And so I think really too, the thing that's a major differentiator going into Christmas is that you're still able to offer belts today. Like people could order belts from you today, i.e. Thanksgiving, and they're still gonna get their belt in time for Christmas. And I don't know that there are any other American-made high-quality belts in the United States that are able to offer that. So by the time you get to Black Friday and these Thanksgiving sales, like good luck, you can get your belt after the new year. But for you guys, do you have an idea of when the last day is that you can order a belt from Dominion and still have it in time for Christmas? Or do you have a goal there?
Yeah, so we haven't talked about the deal yet, but any belt that is purchased through our Black Friday special, and that's going to go all the way through the Tuesday after Cyber Monday, we're going to guarantee every one of those before Christmas. Depending on how that goes, we might have to immediately call the cutoff after that. So if you want a belt before Christmas, definitely get it in while we're doing this deal. So like right now, as soon as you finish your turkey, get online, go order your belt, because it may be the last chance you have to get it before Christmas. But we'll keep that up as long as we can.
And so that's an automatic. You don't have to do anything but just go on the site, order a belt. That's the guarantee is you get it by Christmas. So one, you've got this time guarantee from Black Friday or Thanksgiving through Cyber Monday, guaranteed to get your belt by Christmas. Is there also any discount that you're giving there from a price perspective?
There is. It's going to be 15% off your entire order. That's the biggest discount that we've ever done.
Yeah, that's huge.
And the code for that is going to be DST15. This is the first time we've announced this publicly anywhere. It will be on the site, so if you didn't write that down, don't worry. It'll be obvious when you go to dominionstrengthtraining.com. But DST15 will get you 15% off. If you order it by the Tuesday after Cyber Monday, we'll guarantee that we'll get it to you before Christmas.
Awesome. That's a hell of a deal.
Let's talk about Cyber Monday. How much do you hate that stuff?
I hate it.
So dumb. I mean, you guys have got to play the game. I get it.
Yeah.
But it's so stupid.
Well, Rogue is like the entire month of November now.
Yeah. Cyber fourth quarter.
I mean, that's the thing. That's right. That's what it's going to be. Like it used to be that everyone, it was the Friday, it was Black Friday. And now everybody's sale starts on Thanksgiving. So everybody leaves. It's like starts at noon on Thanksgiving. I'm like, no, stay with your family. Like hang out, eat turkey, But the nice thing about your business and ours is that you can just, that takes you about 2 minutes to order a belt. And you can do it while your, great Uncle Ed is telling the same story he's told for the last 40 years. And you're trying not to fall asleep after you can just pull out your phone real quick and you can order it right from your phone. And you then get right back to Uncle Ed's story and just keep, say, yeah, Uncle Ed, I remember that. Thank you.
What do you think would happen to your sales if you didn't participate?
I don't know. I think it's one of those things where you need to say the words people are expecting to hear,
right,
and then look at your metrics.
It's kind of a customer appreciation day to some degree is the way I have to look at it.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
It's just,
that's exactly how we look at it. And that's why we were doing such a big discount, because I think there's a lot of listeners who probably maybe still haven't purchased from us or are still on the fence. And this gives kind of that extra incentive to say, okay, well, yeah, let's try it out.
Oh, but Cyber Monday, it's so good for the GDP though, Reynolds.
Is it?
So good for the GDP, the gross domestic product,
That's what it's all about.
Yeah, that's the highest good.
Right.
Grandma and grandpa are divorced. Johnny's got, on ADD meds.
Florida man's eating some people.
Florida man's
face off.
GDP's up.
GDP is up.
Yeah.
Because of
fertility rates are falling. We're like pandas. We're in captivity. We won't reproduce. I'm looking at you, Katie. But GDP's up. You can hit a button and get it next day.
Right.
Let's hear it for the economy.
Hey, so I was at, I've done seminars or events the last 3 weeks in a row. I was in at Sully's Barbell Prescription Seminar in Detroit 2 weeks ago. I was in St. Louis last week for the Professional Barbell Coaching Certification, and then I was in Portland for USSF Nationals this past weekend. And I can't believe to this day how many, in the last 3 weeks, how many really poorly made belts I've seen.
Yeah.
And the first place, I was thinking, we tell people when you're looking at barbells The first place to look to tell if it's a really crappy barbell is at the end of the sleeve, and if it's got that hex nut on it, you're guaranteed to be it's bad. I was thinking if you look at your belt rivets, the inside of the belt rivets, and it's one of those, it has like a star that comes out and they fold in. That's a piece of shit belt.
It looks like a steel anus.
Yeah, it definitely looks like a butthole.
That is
if
not
the
one
inside of your rivets looks like an anus, then it's not good. And honestly, one of the things I actually talked to Blake about when he was very first getting started, he wasn't hand making all his belts yet, and all his belts are made in America. He and Katie make them. They're a great small U.S. company. But he talked to us quite a bit about, he wanted to make sure that every aspect of his belt was the highest possible quality. And the rivets that might be the most important thing, are the quality of the rivets.
Yeah.
And so, they use the highest quality rivets you can get, the highest quality buckle you can get. There's no seam on that roller, so it's never going to go anywhere. It's not going to, it's not going to pry apart. So it's another easy tell of a cheap belt is if the roller has a seam, you got a problem. And then just very high quality saddle leather. It's the best belt you can get. You can get it 15% off right now if you go to dominionstrength.com, and you're guaranteed to get it by Christmas time.
Matt went to Portland and went to dinner on a Saturday. Me and Charity.
Yes.
Well, we all went. Everybody was there.
Yep.
And I sat next to Charity, and Karl Shute was across the table from me, and Mike Cordova was kind of across by Karl, and we visited and wrapped up dinner. And I was checking out. I was paying up at the cash register, and this guy walks up and says, "Are you Scott Hambrick?" This is the first time anybody's ever recognized me or whatever.
Yeah.
And we were at a bar. We weren't at the meet.
Right. You're in public.
We're in public. And I said, yeah, I am. I said, why? He said, well, I'm a big fan of your podcast. I said, well, thanks, man. Thanks for listening. He says, it's so informative. It's so funny. So much fun. I said, well, thank you. Thank you for listening. And I said, which podcast, by the way? And he says, oh, Barbell Logic. I said, oh, okay. Where do you train? He says, I don't.
That's amazing.
I said, what? His name's Mike.
He just listens for the comedy and the lifestyle
he said,
stuff.
I've listened to every single show. He says, I just look forward to it. And I said,
that's awesome.
You don't train. No, just love the show, man. I was like, well, I guess we're not very good at it, Charity and Karl heard it. Karl put his arm around.
Not
He was like,
the
we
best
need to talk.
proselytizers of this. That's hilarious. You should have asked him. If he's saving his third.
Right? No kidding. Yeah, he. I don't know, but he was a super nice guy, and I think we made a case for training. So hopefully he'll get in there. You mentioned barbells with the hex nut.
Yeah.
Here's a question from Mark. He says, great podcast. It's definitely the Pareto's principle in action for the fitness world. He says, I love the equipment recast. You mentioned many times that a barbell with a hex nut on the end is a bad bar. He said he bought his on Craigslist. A little 3-in-1 oil made it spin like butter. It's straight as a pin. And aside from the chrome chipping a little bit, he can't figure out how any other bar would improve performance. What's the darn difference?
Well, you'll know when you get a good bar.
Yeah.
Did you see we had somebody actually post on our Barbell Logic online coaching Slack that they had always used a bar like that, and they were like, they're training at a big box gym.
Right.
They train at a big box gym. They're like, you kind of go around a big box gym and you look for the best bar and you grab the best bar and like, yeah, this bar seems pretty good. And then he ordered an Ohio Power Bar last week and it came in. He was like, oh, now I understand. Now I know. That's what a bar is supposed to feel like. And so, man, first off, congrats to you for training.
Yeah.
And for getting that bar and for putting that 3-in-1 oil on it and getting it spin right. So one of the problems is the quality of steel is very low. So as you get stronger and you deadlift more or you miss your first squat or two and you got to set the bar on the pins, that bar is not going to stay straight as an arrow. Most of those bars are load rated to about 500 pounds. And you have to remember 500 pounds is not the load force on the bar when the weight slams against the ground or when the bar hits the pins in the bottom of a squat. It's like you jumping on a scale, right? And the thing jumps up to 400 pounds and then settles down at 204 and your actual body weight's a bunch more force. And so those barbells just aren't load rated for that. Most good power bars are load rated at 1,500 pounds and they'll stay true for 25 years. So probably you just haven't lifted heavy enough on it. That chrome's going to chip off.
Yeah, the
knurl's
knurling's not good. The knurling's not as good.
And if you just don't know, you just don't know. I had a guy that used chalk for the first time. One of my new clients and it was actually liquid chalk. He goes to another big box gym, and so this guy's like built to deadlift. John, one of my 15 Johns that signed up. But so I've got 5 Johns. And I'm gonna be like, is he talking about me? If I haven't told you that you're going to be a 700-pound deadlifter, I'm not talking about you. There's only one John
Right.
that I said was gonna be. This guy's just built to deadlift. He's got like long legs and long arms and a short torso, and he's real athletic. He's young, like I think he's like in his mid-20s, and but he had never used chalk, and so he's doing LP, and he's deadlifting like 350 for a set of 5 right now. And it's like easy. And he's like, grip's starting to become an issue. I think I'm going to need some chalk, but they don't allow chalk at the gym. And so we got him to get some liquid chalk, and it came in, and he used it for the first time, and he was like, oh my God, this is like a totally different lift. He's like, where was this all my life? I was like, I know, you can't lift without chalk.
It's so
and
good.
So
yeah, those cheap bars, the steel isn't as good. So for it to be as strong as the more high quality bar, it has to be thicker. Makes it harder to hang on to it. Knurling is expensive, so the low cost bars don't have good knurling. That makes them slippery.
No.
The chrome makes them slippery. They don't have bushings. If that's what you got and it's suiting you, ain't nothing wrong with that. But if you get a chance to pick up a good bar at Rogue's Boneyard or one of their sales or something, by all means do. You'll be glad you did. I got one here from Ben. He says, I've been doing chins for a couple of months, and I have a question on the methodology of recommended training sets. He says, on part of the YouTube video, I guess this is the Nikki Sims YouTube video, she says, work up to 3 sets of 10 and then switch to weighted chins at 3x5. He says, is there a specific reason to wait to do 3x5, or is that just what seems to work for most people?
Yeah, I just don't think 3 sets of 5 usually just isn't enough work. Now, if you weigh 400 pounds, it's probably definitely enough work, right? It's just so it depends on the person, and so we tend to find that you can start adding weight, but like you can put a dip belt on and attach weight to it. Once you get up to 3 sets of 10, you get about 30 work reps in. You throw a dip belt on and usually add 10 pounds or somewhere there, 10 pounds, 20 pounds maybe if you're decently strong, and your reps will immediately drop to like 6, 5, 4.
Yeah, that's just how the math works.
And then you just keep working your reps up again until you hit 3 sets of 10 again or somewhere in that ballpark, and then you add a little more weight. It works really, really well. This guy that I was telling you about that's going to be a 700-pound deadlifter, when he does body weight chins, he goes like 18, 16, 13. So I'm like, okay, so he's adding 40 pounds. At 40 pounds added to his body weight, he's doing basically nearly 3 sets of 10. He'll do like 10, 9, 8, something like that.
Yeah.
And we kind of just alternate for him between weighted and body weight. We do body weight for sort of the muscular endurance and just big, full, nice range of motion, and then weighted every other session. And you can certainly stick with weight for every session. It'd be just fine.
Yeah, I've been doing 4x8s on Tuesday, body weight. Yeah. And I've actually started adding a little bit of weight there, but that's a light day for my chins. And then I'll do chins for like 2x5 on Saturday with like 25 pounds on my waist and weighing about 240. And so it's kind of a Texas method kind of thing with the chins. It works just fine.
So you do a volume day and intensity day, and then the goal is you're really just sort of LPing the volume day and the intensity day. On the volume day, you try to make sure you do a little more volume each time. So I'm counting total reps off in there. So a lot of times I'll go to 4 sets at that point too. So 4 sets, and maybe it's just 4 sets of AMRAP. Well, if you get 31 reps total, the next time you do that 4 sets of AMRAP, you better get 32 plus. And on that intensity day, if you're doing 2 sets of 5 with 25 pounds, then the next time you better get 2 sets of 6, or you better go up from 25 pounds and add 30 pounds.
I prefer to add the weight. Is there a Dominion strength dip belt?
There is.
There you go.
There's a Dominion strength dip belt.
Now, I'm sorry, Blake and Katie, but I have the yellow
Spud strap.
No, it's not Spud. It's Rogue. It's made out of that webbing material, like a toe strap. It's got the chain on there.
That's what I've got, but I've got the Spud.
That thing
which I had for years before Dominion started making their own.
It weighs about 3 pounds. So the first weighted anything I have anybody do is just putting the belt
It's just
on.
the belt.
Yeah.
Does it have chain attached to it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's got a chain on it.
That's where the weight is. Same thing for you guys, Blake. Do you add chain to it?
It's got a little it's got a chain on it. Yeah. Like 3 feet of chain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that thing
and
weighs
ours
something.
is about 3.6 pounds.
Shipping weight anyway.
Yeah.
You want to be precise.
Katie knows exactly what shipping weight is. You know, my favorite way to add weight to a dip belt is actually, most people probably don't know this, is the round plate dumbbells will sit on that, and because the way they'll angle into, so there's hex dumbbells and there's round dumbbells. So the hex ones don't work as well, but the round plate dumbbells, you don't actually have to feed the chain through anything. Mm-hmm. You can just set the end of the dumbbell on it, and the way it teeters, it's not going to fall off. And so rather than having to run the chain through like the whole of a barbell plate, then it works a lot better. But again, a lot of people don't have access. I think we've talked about this before. I think I would program dumbbells a lot, not over barbells. Barbells always are going to be better than dumbbells, but I would program dumbbells a lot more often for my clients as accessory movements and things if they had access to them. It's just dumbbells. I was talking to I joined a gym last week for the first time. We'll talk about that later, but I joined a gym, and where I was talking to the gym owner, I was like, man, this is the most expensive thing in your entire gym is your dumbbell set. Because you're paying for weight by the pound, and there's no way, where like barbells, you got 45 pounds, you got 95 pounds, 135, whatever. You just keep going up by adding barbells. Dumbbells are set and they're fixed.
Additive. Yeah.
Yeah. And so
you
I remember
picked up his 150s and then dropped it and bent it.
Well,
you're like, sorry, bro.
I remember having dumbbells up to, I think, 130s at Strong. And then we got the opportunity to buy 140s through 200s at 10-pound increments. So 140s, 150s, 160s, 170s. And it was like $1,000 for 5 dumbbells, 5 sets of dumbbells. Gross. That's a bunch. And then how many people can use the 200s?
What's the heaviest croc row you've ever done? That's the heaviest
200.
thing anybody's going to do with a barbell or a
That's
dumbbell.
right. It's a croc row. That's right.
200.
Right. Unless you're Eddie Hall and you're doing 200. Did you see those? He's doing like 200s for seated overhead presses.
That's a dumb idea.
I tuck my feet under him to do sit-ups.
There you go.
There we go. Yeah, that's right.
They're ballast.
That's right. That's right.
But Ben,
they hold the bands down.
So Ben here that asked about the chins, he says, thanks for what you do. BLOC, saved my life from 5 years of debilitating hamstring and back pain. Well, good deal.
Thanks, man. Change people's life.
Glad you're getting around a little more better.
Hey, I've noticed also, Scott, I have a bunch more of my lifters that are using the Dominion, the little deadlift strap. What do you guys call that?
Deadlift Jack.
Yeah, your Deadlift Jack, which is sort of misleading, Katie. It ain't really a Deadlift Jack.
It isn't? Oh.
But it's
Blake named it, so.
No, it's fine. So Blake is a snake oil charlatan.
It's
it works really well. Yeah, it's kind of like it's just a little piece of leather with two thicker. Is that you add another piece of leather with like a little rivet on each end? Is that what it is? And you can roll your weight up on it, the inside plate up on it, to get the plates off the ground to load and unload your deadlift bar. And I see more and more of those in the videos I'm breaking down on a daily basis because they're really cheap, right? They're like $10 or something.
Yeah, we should probably call it a wedge.
Yeah, wedge. There you go.
But if you called it a wedge with a stable point in the middle to hold your plates, it just doesn't roll off the.
No,
it's probably not as searchable as just Deadlift Jack.
Mm-hmm.
It's true. Well, the nice thing is it's easily stored into your gym bag. If you don't train at home, then you can throw it in your gym bag. It's one of those things like micro plates, like fractional plates that everybody should just have in their gym bag all the time, and then you can use it. So.
And it works a lot better than using one of those micro plates to lift up the side of your barbell, because that's what as a girl, that's what I would always do.
Yeah, you roll it onto a 2.5 or something. Yeah,
and then it rolls off and then rolls onto your foot. So it's a lot more stable, and they're really cheap, and they're great if you've just got a home gym, or like you said, if you go to one of those gyms that's not a strength specific gym, they're not going to have anything like that for you. So
yeah.
You can roll that 12-sided plate right up on that deadlift wedge. And
that's the worst.
Brian here, he says, the show has been an amazing reference tool for my training and life, finances, and things unrelated to strength training as well. He says he's 34 years old and has been making steady progress using HLM. He has a karate black belt test coming up. Actually, in early May. Sorry, bro. And it'll probably be an intensive 1 to 2 hours of punching, kicking, and push-ups. In the days leading to it, how would you suggest I approach my strength training to make sure I'm fully recovered and conditioned for the test? And push-ups and a black
was
belt?
this for last May? Surely this is for this coming May, right?
No.
May.
It's for May of 2020. Yeah.
Okay, thank God. I was like, we're not that behind on questions, are we?
No. So it's the 21st today of November, and this question's from October 3rd, so that's how far behind we are.
Oh, we're not too far behind.
Not too bad.
We're not too far behind. Yeah, so, well, a black belt test is the most important thing you're doing physically. It's more important going into that black belt test than your strength stuff is, right? Strength is important, and sounds like you've already gotten pretty strong. Doesn't mean we're not going to keep getting strong, but you've got to play that stress game like a budget, and the prep for the black belt is the thing that's got to take the bulk of the stress. And so you might have to cut your training down to twice a week in the weight room in order to prep for the black belt. And then once you pass, and which you should do, and get the black belt, then you'll be fine. Now, I don't think that you have to do that until you get, about a month out, 6 weeks out, Scott? Like, how far out before you start to tailor your training to prep? And I don't know a ton about martial arts and how much extra work there is.
I say 6. I say 6 weeks
probably
out.
6 weeks.
And then you need to start doing lots of HIIT, right? High intensity interval training, because that punching and kicking, you're going to do these short rounds of cardiovascularly intense work in the
so I would keep your
test.
weight pretty heavy so that you continue to maintain your strength as best you can, hitting singles, doubles, and triples. And probably not a ton of volume, since the volume tends to beat you up in the weight room, and then get your conditioning workout in, and then your volume or your GPP type work will often come from the karate training practice itself. So that's what I do. So you can
he's not going to have to be terribly strong,
correct,
to pass this here. It's going to be technique and endurance probably more than anything. So look for that.
Just want to make sure you're really fresh going in that last week or two going into the actual test. You want to really make sure you drop the volume through the floor, you back your weight off significantly on the barbell, you just get in and move through full range of motion and get to feeling better, and make sure that you recover. And so that when you walk in to take that test, you feel absolutely at 100%.
He says, P.S. Everything you guys said in the Q&A about being a father to a newborn is 100% accurate. Thank you for saying so. Guy? But I knew that. Yeah. And what we said was, Katie.
Oh, I listened to that episode, don't you, Bert? I'm one of your 13 female listeners.
Oh, yeah. No, we're up to 23.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm one of them. I'm there. I replayed that to Blake. I was like, "Hey, listen to what Scott just said about being a new dad."
What does he care?
I mean, I'm on a schedule.
All women are, whether they acknowledge it or not.
Well, body, yeah, you know what I mean. I only have so much time.
That's what he's saying.
Right. Gotta get this done.
I know.
So,
well, I'm rooting for you. Let's go. I can write some programming for you guys.
Oh, God.
I'll need videos so I can check the form.
Okay.
But I can write programming. And we can get a
blush.
We can get a baby
I'm too
up in
tan
there.
to blush, but it's under there.
Nikki Sims told me this weekend she's saving her last 2 eggs for The Rock.
For The Rock.
Yes. Oh my! Could you imagine? Could you imagine what beautiful offspring?
A Dwayne Johnson, Nikki Sims baby would be like.
Oh my God.
Oh, gorgeous!
Amazing.
You don't think so? Sorry, Nikki's always been like my girl crush. When we starting strength, and I met Nikki, I was like, oh my God, I'm going to be just like her. And then I realized I'm like a good foot shorter.
I'm going to be like a short her.
Trying, and I was like, okay, well, I could still try. Like, I could still stay in my mind.
I'm a foot shorter and I can't do chin-ups, but what are we going to do?
Practice squat. That's all I have.
You were talking about your guy that's going to be a 700-pound deadlifter.
Yeah.
Well, my guy that's going to be an 800-pound deadlifter, his Kirk Kerber, he's a paramedic, and he's also in the Naval Reserves, and they put him in Guantanamo, not incarcerated him, but they had him stationed down there. And you talk about being tall. That's what made me think of him. This is where the stream of consciousness led me.
He's like 6'7".
He's 6'7". And so he was down there with a regular sleep schedule. Put 100 pounds on his deadlift in 9 months. He pulled for over 1,500
In
pounds.
Guantanamo.
Yeah. So
because he's normally doing, because he's a first responder, he's got all these weird sleep schedules.
Oh, it's terrible. The guy can never he can never sleep when the sun's behind the earth. So he squatted 585. He pulled 650. And
holy cow! Are you serious?
Yeah, and he benched.
I'd love to see pictures of that guy.
And he benched 285. He
was so lanky. I'm trying to remember the first time we saw him. Was that in? No, he came to Wichita Falls once, and I saw him at a seminar.
The first time we met him, he came to Styrka here in Tulsa.
Yeah, it was Tulsa. That was actually the second time I had met him. It was just a few weeks after the first time, and he came out and hung out and trained with you and me and McKay, and then went out and ate. Man, he was just tall and lanky and goofy, and so the guy's he's still goofy, but he's but he's strong.
He weighed in at 302.
Oh my god! Well, which is right for 6'7".
Yep.
6'7", 302.
Yep.
And guy he probably looks like an NFL tight end.
Oh, he's a great big guy. I'm real proud of his. He got. I think he actually got I think it was 15-15 for total.
Nice.
Yeah. So they give him a little.
That's fantastic.
Little coin and a little plaque, and he killed it.
Katie and Blake, you guys might have noticed that they dropped out of the show there for a second. They had an internet snafu.
Florida man stole all the copper.
Yeah, or he was eating a cable or something. But we were bragging about the individual pieces of your belt, and Blake, and one of the things that we had talked about as you had moved from like really early Dominion strength belts where you weren't making your own belts to making your own belts, on how you tried to make every piece of that belt the highest quality belt you could, right? So the rivets are incredible. We talked about the rivets while you guys were off the air, and talked about the seamless rollers and all that fun stuff. One more time before we close the show down, give the listeners one more time, like, what is that value prop, and then how do they get it? Remind them, because as they're listening right now, they can get on their phone even as you're speaking and order that belt in time for Christmas.
Yeah, so if you order from us, you're going to get a top quality belt, but you're going to get it a lot quicker than you would get it from anybody else, especially this time of year.
Made in the U.S., made by you guys in the United States. Yep.
And if you order, as you hear this, in the next few days, so from Thanksgiving until next Tuesday, which is the Tuesday after Cyber Monday, we're going to guarantee all those orders will get to you before Christmas. And if you use the code DST15, you'll get 15% off your entire order. And that's the biggest discount that we've ever done to date.
Perfect.
And if you order, it's 15% off the whole order. So you get the little wedge.
That's right.
Get your dip belt, get your belt, get your wife a belt.
What other products do you have in the pipeline? What are we thinking about?
Lifting straps would be
definitely
one we could do, especially now that we've got the splitter and we can get that leather down thin like it needs to be for a strap. And then other, small stuff like the Deadlift Jack. We've got a couple of ideas floating around. There might be something coming up with Barbell Logic.
That's what I heard.
Yeah. Imagine if you had a belt that looks like our Dominion flagship belt. So it had just the raw leather on the outside. You put some oil on it, get it nice and dark, a good grain texture to it, suede on the inside of the belt so you've got some extra grip, and then put a lever on the front of it instead of a buckle.
Ooh, lever belts. Barbell Logic. And for people who hate Barbell Logic, I think what we're planning on doing is just putting the cool light bulb logo so it doesn't have to say like Barbell Logic across the back. So if there's some of you out there, you decide you just don't like us that much, it's just got the light bulb on it, man. It doesn't say like, it doesn't say the Scott Hambrick belt or anything.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, like,
you need to go ahead and put the name on it. And
all the way across
your
the
signature,
back.
like it's a baseball glove.
Yeah, right.
Don't
color
cut
it.
Yeah, don't cut to
red
these
and
people that
white.
don't like you. Yeah.
Could probably get your face imprinted.
Oh, that's exactly that's what everybody wants. That's what then you'd have to make the belt red.
And, right.
To match the color of my skin. Right now, you got it the color of Katie and Charity's skin. It was
Shell
like
Cordovan.
You tan it, you oil it up, and it's like this dark tan brown. So we can't have that. If it's going to be Reynolds, it would be red. So
we'll mix up some dye and see what we can do.
Yeah, and it'd be like bulbous and like have high blood pressure. The belt would. Oh, that's no good. That's probably not a high sales point for the belt. So no, I'm excited for the. You know what I want with lifting straps? Leather lifting straps to me are always too narrow. I want a fairly wide lifting strap.
How,
Not a
how
thick,
wide is
not
good?
thick. I would say 1.5 inches wide, not less than 1.5 inches wide. 2 inches is probably too wide, but 1 inch is definitely too narrow. So I think 1.5 inch leather and kind of a nice soft underside. It's good.
We actually sent a couple samples to Alex at Atlanta Barbell.
Oh, okay.
Beasley, I believe.
Yeah.
Because she actually requested, and we were like, oh, it's funny. We
Yeah,
were thinking
test
about
them out.
working on it. And she actually mentioned, I don't know if we'll go in that direction, but she mentioned that the straps that she really preferred were kind of different than what Alex, owner of Atlanta Barbell, different Alex,
Kennedy. Yep.
preferred. Yeah, so we might actually come out with like a couple different
different
versions. That'd be easy to do. Since we have.
really like those figure 8 ones. I've got a set of those figure 8 that you guys could do as well. And once you figure out how to use those, they're a completely different setup. You know what I'm talking about? You've seen those? They're like two big closed loops. They're made out of the canvas. I've never seen one with leather, but I still think it would work really well. And in order to get it tight enough, you just twist it, right? You just twist the loops and it tightens the thing down. So if you've got big, giant Brian Shaw hands, you don't have to twist it. And if you got little dainty hands like myself, you just twist it a few more times. And I have very Trumpian hands, very small hands. Burger King burgers look huge in my hands, very dainty. Yeah, those would all be fun. So yeah, go to dominionstrength.com. Use discount code DST15. Is that right? DST15.
Yep.
To save 15% off your order. And if you order by the Tuesday following Cyber Monday, you'll get your belt by Christmas time. Guaranteed. So, and if you have 1,000 belts that are ordered on Thanksgiving or Black Friday, then you're probably going to have to shut that down and be like, nope, Tuesday we were relying. We can't get them out. So, or you're going to have to hire a Florida man to help pump out some extra belts. So,
Oh yeah.
so if your belt comes in and it's got teeth marks on it, then you'll know who made it.
Yeah, and I want to throw in too. I don't know if you mentioned before, but that code, that DST, we're trying to guarantee all orders to be in by Christmas if you order from Thanksgiving to December 3rd. So that's for U.S. orders, so domestic orders. International orders, we can't guarantee as much, and that's just because shipping gets a little crazy around the holidays. Sure. So we'll try our best.
Sure.
But just, I know you guys have some international listeners. So
yes, that should be well known. Yeah, you crazy guys stationed in South Africa, you're probably not going to get it in time.
But the sooner they order, the better, and they can still use that logic code.
Perfect. Awesome. Blake and Katie, thank you so much for being on the show again.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Nice having you guys on.
I want to answer Joe's question.
Okay, let's do another question. That's fine.
He says, I'm sure this question has been asked before, and I apologize for any redundancy. I'm 6 feet tall, 175 to 180 pounds, 27 years old. He's in the military. He says, I know the thing I need to do to get stronger is eat more. If dairy is off the table for health reasons, then what else would you recommend? How many meals a day? What types? He says, if dairy is off the table for health reasons, like, do you really think that it's off the table for health reasons for
He's
him?
probably lactose intolerant. He probably,
or does he just think it's not healthy to drink milk?
No, well, I don't know, but
I've met
if he
a lot
thinks
of
it's
those
not healthy,
people.
sure, but if, what are you going to do? So the guy's probably not going to drink milk. I'm probably lactose intolerant, and I just refuse to stop drinking milk. So I would just, I've said before, like if it's no milk or diarrhea, I'm taking diarrhea every time.
Yeah, and they've got Lactaid.
Yeah, you could take some of that. I mean, but obviously, man, there's a ton of other places to get meat, to get protein, get lots of red meat, chicken, fish. Like, it's not that hard. People make this thing so hard. I don't understand why it's so hard. And by the way, whey protein doesn't have lactose in it. It's whey. Right. It's the lactose is in the solid.
It's not even whey. It's just protein, which is just a long chain hydrocarbon,
right?
That's extracted from it and purified.
Right, but what I'm saying is,
protein.
I think most people I still think the general public thinks that whey protein, because it comes from milk, will tear their stomach up.
Right.
And it won't. Now, if you buy really low quality protein, like really low quality, like the cheapest stuff you can get, then maybe, but it's probably not the whey that's doing it. If you get any whey isolate, you'll be just fine. So you can still drink that, and that would be fine.
Yeah, don't overthink it. Just eat a lot more. Just
Yeah.
eat a lot more.
Yep.
And you're going to
that's
have
it.
to eat more frequently, and just get it done.
Probably drink
but I
some. So, and that's part of the deal. Like with the
can't.
milk, I think one of the things we've said is it's often hard to eat enough. I think you should try, but if you can't, you've got to drink some of your calories. It's not that hard to. You take a guy like this. I mean, I've done this lots of times where you take somebody and you have them drink coconut milk or almond milk. So like let's say half coconut milk, half egg whites. Like pasteurized, they're pasteurized, so you can just pour them in raw because they're pasteurized, and then dump 2 big scoops of protein in there. And if you want to throw some carbs in there, you can put some honey or some sugar, or some dextrose or anything, a banana, and blend it up and drink your protein shake. And it doesn't have any dairy in it.
Yeah.
So not that hard.
Just do it.
Not that hard. So fill out that belt, man.
Just do
Yeah,
it.
fill out that Dominion belt you got. So I know whether I'm fat or not. I know how fat I am based on whether I can wear, I think it's a 2X or a 1X. So a 2X Dominion belt is most of the time too big for me. Like there's a lot of extra tongue on it.
So Matt
And-
Reynolds isn't worried about going up one hole. He's like, oh shit,
I'm worried
I'm
about going
up
out
a belt.
one belt. That's
I'm
right.
up a belt.
It's what belt I have to wear. So my goal is to get down to a large. I want to be able to get into a large size Dominion.
Sounds good.
Sounds
So-
like a New Year's resolution.
That's right. New Year's resolution. Large size belt for Reynolds. Actually, I'm doing pretty good. I'm down quite a bit. Lost some weight. Mostly lost some inches. Story of my
Mostly.
life.
There's another Barbell Logic podcast. Send your questions, guys, to questions@barbell-logic.com. And of course, if you need to order a belt, a dip belt, a deadlift wedge, some straps, etc., you can go to dominionstrength.com and use that code DST15. Yeah?
Yep. DST15.
And get 15% off your entire order. Do that now. And guys, have a happy Thanksgiving.